Can I name a player who has played for Sunderland and every country in Europe? In this video, I'll go through the 55 full member associations who are part of UEFA and see if I can name a player who is from that country and also has played for Sunderland. In editing, I'll put in the answers that I miss and also find a total score at the end. Just like my 92 and Sunderland video, this has been done without Transfermarkt, without Wikipedia, without any football database of any kind, just me and my brain. We start with Albania, and there's an answer for this one that I think most of you probably know. That's going to be Lorik Sana. If I recall correctly, he was actually the first Albanian to ever play in the Premier League and obviously did so with Sunderland. I'm going to prove my point straight away, and I strongly suspect there hasn't been anyone for either Andorra or Armenia who've played for Sunderland. Next we have Austria. I feel like there probably has been a few. I can think of a few Austrian players who have played in the Premier League generally, but I can't think of one who's played for Sunderland. I suspect there probably is a few. Maybe I've missed someone obvious. This is the first one that I've skipped where I feel like there might be an answer out there. Future editing Alex here. From what I can see, there's only been one Austrian to ever play for Sunderland, and that is a goalkeeper called Jürgen Macho. He played for Sunderland about 20 times in the early noughties, and to be honest, I hadn't heard of him. Azerbaijan and Belarus, I strongly suspect there hasn't been a Sunderland player. Belgium, there's definitely been a few. I can think of Simon Mignolet. And what was that fella called who we had on loan from Leeds? Laurens de Bock. I'm pretty sure he was Belgian as well. Opposite ends of the talent spectrum there, I think. Next we have Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is another one where I feel like there might be one out there. There isn't. Next we have Bulgaria and Croatia. Two countries again, where I think there might be one out there. There hasn't for these two either, but I promise we will start naming some footballers soon. I'm 90% sure there hasn't been a Cypriot, a person from Cyprus, who's played for Sunderland, so we'll move past them as well. Uh-oh, that looks like an error to me. I knew the name Valentin Roberge, however, I didn't know that while he's French born, he has played 5 times for the Cyprus national football team. We'll count it. Unfortunately, that means I got Cyprus wrong. Next, we're on to the Czech Republic, where I definitely can think of one. There's a player called Ondrej Selutska, something like that. He played for Sunderland. I think he was one of those weird Defanti era signings, and he is from Czech Republic. Next up, we've got Denmark, and we'll go with goalkeeper Thomas Sorensen. A nice easy one next, thankfully. We've got England. Has there been a player who's played for Sunderland from England? Yes, there's been one or two. For argument's sake, let's name Jordan Henderson and Jordan Pickford, who obviously have recently played for the full men's team. On to another slightly tricky one, but I actually think I've got someone for Estonia. I'm pretty sure goalkeeper Martin Poom, who actually scored a goal for Sunderland, was Estonian. I feel like he's either Polish or Estonian, but I think he's Estonian. So we'll say Martin Poom for Estonia. Next we have the Faroe Islands, which is a territory of Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure there's not been a player who's played for Sunderland from the Faroe Islands. Next we've got Finland, and I can think of someone. I'm going to struggle with the pronunciation a bit. I think his name was Teemu Taino or Teemu Tainio, something like that. I'll put a picture of him on screen. Played for Sunderland, I think around 2010 or so, and was from Finland, is from Finland. Another easy one with France. There's been loads over the years. Obviously Sunderland have had a bit of a French theme in recent years, but there's also been players back in the noughties and stuff. Steve Malbronk and Djibril Cissé, Yunus Kabul, there's loads. This is a nice easy one. Next up we have Georgia, the country, not the US state. I can only think of a handful of Georgia players. There's that fella we were linked with in the summer who plays in Ligue 1, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously he doesn't play for Sunderland yet, maybe. I don't think there's one for Sunderland, so we'll move past Georgia as well. Next we have Germany. Surprisingly difficult actually. I can think of a few, but it's not as easy as France, for example. There's Jan Kirchhoff, who played for Sunderland back in the Premier League. There's also Ron Thorben Hoffman, who was that goalkeeper we loaned from Bayern Munich, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a few for Germany. Next we have Gibraltar, which is a British overseas territory. We've had Danish overseas territory. Now we've got a British one. This is stretching the rules slightly because he wasn't born in Gibraltar, but he has played for the national team, so we're going to count it. Danny Higginbotham, who came through Man United's youth setup. I'm pretty sure he's capped for the Gibraltar national football team, even though, like I say, he isn't born in Gibraltar. So we'll count it. Next up we have Greece, and I can think of Charis Mavrias, who again I think was one of those slightly random Defanti era signings, and I don't recall him doing very much for Sunderland. Next up we've got Hungary, and I can think of two off the top of my head. There's Callum Styles, who is another one who wasn't born in Hungary but has played for the national team. And there's goalkeeper Martin Fulop, who unfortunately passed away quite young. Next we've got Iceland, and I'm pretty sure there hasn't been a player from Iceland who's played for Sunderland. Not that I can think of anyway. For Israel, there has been Tal Ben Haim. Next up we've got Italy. There's been a few. I can think of Fabio Barini, Emanuele Giaccherini. Probably a pronunciation issue there. There's also been Vito Minone. So yeah, there's been a few for Italy. Next is Kazakhstan, and I'm pretty sure there hasn't been a Kazakhstan and Sunderland footballer. Next we've got Kosovo, which is another tricky one, but I can actually think of someone. There was a League One defender we had called, excuse the pronunciation, I think his name was like Arbenit Shimajli, something like that. I don't know if he's from Kosovo, but he certainly played for the national football team. I'm going to fly through this next bunch because it's a tricky bunch where I can't think of anyone for any of them. Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta and Moldova are all pretty obscure footballing nations, and I can't think of anyone who has played for them and Sunderland. Next we've got the Netherlands, and there's a few at Sunderland at the moment, such as Brian Brobby and Robin Roofs. One from a little further back is Bolo Zenden. Next we've got North Macedonia. I'm pretty sure there hasn't been one for North Macedonia. Next up we've got Northern Ireland. Obviously Dan Ballard and Trey Hume work for this. So there's someone like David Healy. I'm pretty sure Trevor Carson does as well. So yeah, another one where there's a few. Next up we've got Norway, and there is Leo Hjelde. Again, probably a pronunciation issue. Next up we've got Poland, and the only player I can think of is a goalkeeper who was with us like in the Championship and League One days. Didn't really play for the first team very much, if at all. That's Max Stryjek. Again, there are some severe pronunciation issues in this video, and I apologise. Next up we have Portugal, and I can think of another goalkeeper for this one that works. Quite a lot of goalkeepers in this video, just saying. It's Mika Dominguez, who was another goalkeeper who didn't play a single game for Sunderland. I don't know how I've named two goalkeepers in a row who didn't play for Sunderland, but there we go. Another nice easy one with the Republic of Ireland. Obviously there's been quite a few over the years. Darren Gibson, Aidan McGeady, Roy O'Donovan, John O'Shea. You get my point. There's quite a few. Next up we've got Romania, and again it's a goalkeeper who's come to mind. An absolutely fucking enormous one, if you'll pardon my French. That is Kostel Pantilimon. Next up is Russia. I don't think there's been a Russian who's played for Sunderland. I can think of a few who played in the Russian league, namely Wilson Isidore and Aidan McGeady, but I can't actually think of a Russian. Next is San Marino, a teeny tiny little nation surrounded by Italy, and I'm pretty sure no one from San Marino has ever played for Sunderland. Next up is another one of the home nations, that being Scotland. Another nice easy one. There's been loads over the years. Craig Gordon, Stephen Fletcher, Phil Bardsley, Alan Hutton. Next up we have Serbia. The only one I can think of is actually a current Sunderland player. That is Milan Aleksic, who is a Sunderland player, albeit he's out on loan at the moment. Next up we've got Slovakia and Slovenia. These are countries where it feels like there might be an answer for at least one of them. But I can't think of it off the top of my head. Hello, me from the future again. There isn't one for Slovenia, but there is one for Slovakia that I missed. Stanislav Varga was a Slovakian international footballer who had 2 spells at Sunderland in the noughties. Next up we have Spain. This feels like one where there should be a load of answers, but I can only think of Jordi Gomez. Next up we've got Sweden. I can think of obviously Seb Larsson, who was an absolutely fantastic player for Sunderland. I can also think of Joel Osoro as well, who less so than Seb Larsson, but wasn't bad in little bursts. Switzerland are next, and this is a nice easy one thanks to current Sunderland player Granit Xhaka. Next we've got Turkey, a little bit more of an obscure player, but I had no struggles thinking of Big Alim Ozturk. We never got our screamer from him, did we? Insert Alim Ozturk screamer now. Next up we've got Ukraine, and there is Nazari Ruzian, who I actually think is still at Sunderland. I don't think he's ever going to play for Sunderland, but he's still at Sunderland, out on loan somewhere. Last but not least, we've got our last home nation and our last nation in this list, that being Wales. I can think of a few. Johnny Williams and Adam Matthews spring to mind straight away. Again, there's probably a few other... Oh, what about David Vaughan? David Vaughan scored that screamer in a derby one year. Yeah, so there's a few for Wales as well. By my count, I got 52 out of 55 correct, with Austria, Cyprus and Slovakia being the only countries that I missed. Not bad going if you ask me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? And I hope to see you next time.